This is the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abish, founder of Abish Financial Services.
And I'm Heather Branch, here to ask Abe for ideas on ways you can better prepare for your financial future. TheRetirementKey.com is where you can go to start your own conversation with Abe and his team. We also have links posted in the show notes, so you can just click there or, again, find us anytime at TheRetirementKey.com. All right, so this is something that we've talked about before. You've brought it up. Even though the stock market has been on quite a run recently, you have made mention it's really being fueled by a handful of stocks. Think Microsoft and Apple.
Yes.
And this actually has some investors concerned that a major market is brewing. So do you agree? How do we need to navigate a possible correction? And perhaps the real important question is for somebody who's in retirement and worried about this. There's ways to, you've said before, quote unquote, the recession-proof your retirement plan, right?
Yeah, and ultimately, Heather, if you've worked your entire life to get to the point to retire, and now your portfolios are hitting all-time highs because the markets are hitting all-time highs, right, then naturally we should also be thinking about, man, we've now just hit new values, higher values in our life savings. What can we do to insulate our life savings from all the risks that can mess this up? One of those big ones being major market downturns and losses. And so you can wonder if the next downturn and maybe the next possible recession will wreck your retirement, maybe delay your retirement, cause you to lose a lot of money, or you can be proactive and put together a plan now ahead of those downturns, right, because downturns come and go. I mean, the markets are usually up 3 or 4 years in a row, down 1 or 2 years. 6 or 7 out of every 10 years, the markets are usually up. 3 to 4 years are down. So this is healthy and normal for the markets to go up and down. And if they're hitting all-time highs, as they've just have recently, then as a retirement planning and distribution firm, we are now thinking, okay, well, when is this next shoe going to drop?
Okay.
When should we be anticipating this to happen? So we need a plan of protection in place around our life savings that's going to prevent major disruption in our portfolio and life savings.
Okay.
We don't want to have to go back to work. We want to plan to pull the trigger and retire successfully, transition successfully.
Right.
To go do everything we want to do in retirement, right, and not worry about the markets.
Okay.
So we just had a couple call in to the show and then come into the office from Arlington, Virginia. They have $3 million saved, so fantastic job of saving. They're a middle-of-the-road investor, 5 on our risk scale, just middle of the road, not too aggressive, not too conservative. Retiring in the next 24 months. And again, you can win by not losing, and you can win by avoiding large loss. That was their concern is, first off, do we have enough? Do we have enough to continue our lifestyle into retirement? And as we started digging and doing the analysis on their whole life savings, we found out that although they want to be a 5, middle-of-the-road investors like so many of our clients, they actually have 80% of their money in stocks.
Okay.
It's not right or wrong. It is what it is for this couple.
But that's more common that you would see for somebody in their 30s or 40s.
Yeah, maybe early 50s with 10, 15, 20 years left to retire, right? But once this couple realized, okay, we have $3 million and it is enough to sustain our lives, the rest of our lives, inflation adjusted, we can do everything we're doing now, all the travel, all the things they're spending money on. People usually have a realization at the conference room table right during that session, like, oh, wow,
sure,
I have enough. I needed that confirmation. Now that I have enough, you're right, Abe and the team, we should probably think about pulling in the reins a little bit. And I was telling them, look, your portfolio just hit new values. I mean, you crossed over $3 million. You had never crossed over it before. And this is enough to retire with dignity and confidence. And if that's you and you're listening right now and you're saying, yep, Abe, I've just hit new values in my portfolio. My life savings is more than it's ever been. If you're taking on more risk than you should be, pull that risk in somewhat if you're close, because you don't want to be forced to go back to work. And there's no need in taking on any extra risks than necessary to meet your goals and objectives. So the biggest problem with this couple, and it happens a lot with husband and wives, they had like 10 different accounts out there.
Right.
TSP, 401k, IRAs.
What do you call it? You say it's the financial junk drawer.
Exactly right. Yeah. This was a financial junk drawer to a T.
I got it.
and actually in the meeting, the husband said, I haven't told you this yet, babe, but I just found $250,000 in a CD at some big bank out there.
Wait,
and
that's great news. Everyone's wife wants to hear that.
It is great news, but it's, a little, not embarrassing, but a little concerning that if we don't have everything consolidated into a well thought out plan that's
what are you
tracking
leaving on the table?
Yeah, everything regularly.
Yeah.
And we track this every 90 days with our clients during quarterly reviews. And obviously we track a lot of things daily, the markets, of course.
Sure.
Then you could miss out on an account and forget about it and just forget it's there. So what we found out with this couple is that they have accounts everywhere. They're taking on more risks than they want to and need to at the point of retirement. And they're going to make a lot when the markets are up. They're going to lose a lot when the markets are down. That's just simply unnecessary for them.
Got it.
As we were doing the analysis on their investments, we found out that they could be up 20 or 30%. They could also be down as much as 40% in a 2008 type of environment if they made no changes to their portfolio and life savings. And that is a ton of money. I mean, you're talking about over $1 million in losses on a $3 million portfolio if the markets went backwards 40%.
Just like that. Just in one market crash. Wow.
That could happen in a year.
Wow.
So the solution for them, for this couple and with so many other people, is just to reduce and pull back that risk, right? Reduce their stock exposure down to 50%. Implement a comprehensive financial plan that's not just going to manage their investments. It's going to manage really everything they're doing in retirement. That's the insurance, that's the taxes, the estate plan, putting everything together into a well thought out, consolidated plan that makes sense for this next season of their lives. So if you sound like this couple from Arlington, Virginia, and you say, you know what, Abe, I have a few $1 million saved as well. I'm probably taking on more risks than we need to, but I'm not sure. Not sure how much risk I'm taking, what my portfolio costs, what the fund costs are, what my advisor's charging me if you have an advisor. Go to our website, theretirementkey.com. Click on the Contact Us tab at the top of the page, and we can begin to have these same conversations about your portfolio and your life savings as well.
Of course, we also have links posted in the show notes, so click there to head to our website or visit us anytime at theretirementkey.com. All right, so when it comes to market risk, none of us have a crystal ball. We can't see the future. We can't know. But things we can find out more about is how much it's costing you just to save. That's the irony of it all, Abe. The fees that we pay on our own money. So if we were to talk about airlines, you're going to get a lot of eye rolls and heavy sighs about the junk fees that they're all paying. One of the most hated fees is the baggage fees that airlines are putting upon us. Did you read this?
Yeah.
The top 20 airlines last year raked in more than $33 billion in baggage fees.
Wow.
That is an insane amount of money. But as I was saying earlier, the idea of airline fees and what they're charging us, while it's infuriating, at least you know what it is. Like by the time you got on that airplane, you're like, well, there's another $200 that I paid in fees, but let's go on vacation. The thing that's really upsetting is for anybody who's ever done a fee analysis on their portfolio to discover how much they're paying on fees every single year. Some people tens of thousands of dollars on their own savings and investments. So how do you work to expose these hidden fees for people in the office?
Well, there's so much uncertainty in the world right now, but your financial future, your retirement plan doesn't have to be one of them. That includes knowing what you're paying in fees to your advisor, your fund costs of your life savings. And man, a lot of 401ks out there are very expensive in terms of fund cost. Yes. TSP, low cost, right? And that's one of the biggest positives of the TSP. But then outside of the TSP or a 401k, there's a world of opportunity on these major platforms like Fidelity, Charles Schwab, Vanguard, et cetera. Which can really open up a world of investment opportunity to someone outside of those plans if you're able to look outside of the plan. With that, we just had a couple call into the show, come into the office from Reston, Virginia, not too far from us, and they've got $1.5 million saved. They're a 5 on our risk scale as well, retiring at the end of next year. So down to around 18 months before they fully transition into retirement. They were working with an advisor. They did not know what they were paying the advisor in advisory fees. And then when we did the portfolio X-ray and analysis on their whole plan, we found out their fund costs were pretty high. So they came to us because they realized, we believe, we think we have a phase 1 advisor, Abe. This advisor is talking to us about the investments. But when we asked this person about tax planning, Roth conversions,
Yeah.
help with RMDs, distributions, creating income from my portfolio, handling healthcare and a long-term care event, setting up an estate plan, and all these decisions that can and should be made around a phase 2 retirement plan. They weren't being made, and the investment advisor was giving them this glazed over look like, hey, we don't do that here. You're going to have to talk to your tax person over there. Go talk to this healthcare person over here. Go talk to your insurance person over there.
That.
Nobody's got time for that. I mean, what you don't want is 5 or 6 people in your ear with different opinions.
Right.
You want, again, a well thought out, consolidated, thoughtful plan that makes sense, that's congruent, that's consistent.
Yeah.
With the financial professionals that you're dealing and working with.
Yeah.
So they realize that they're missing out on a lot of these decisions and this advice that they need. And then digging into their investments a little bit more, talking about fund cost, we realized that their average fund cost in their portfolio was 0.5%. In other words, 50% of 1%. And that's getting up there in cost because if you look at some of these low cost ETFs or even a stock, you could be down at almost 0 or 0.03, 0.05. And then when we did the analysis and showed them, hey, here's what our portfolios cost, you're talking about a savings, in their case, of about $5,000 a year.
Really?
Now, you may say, Abe, that sounds like a little bit, sounds like a lot. Well, I can tell you, if you're in your 60s and you could potentially save $5,000 a year in fund costs and you live to your 90s, that's $150,000 that could be recouped.
Wow.
And put back into your life savings instead of maybe a mutual fund manager's pockets. Simply by using a portfolio that's more appropriate for this next season of your life that is also potentially lower in cost.
Got it.
We want to look at the cost of what these investments are, the cost of your overall plan and advice to make sure you are getting value and to make sure that it's the best and most appropriate plan for this next season of your life. So the solution for them was that phase 2 plan that we talk about almost every week here on the show to help them get down phase 2, their retirement mountain safely. Consolidation, reduction of risk, reduction of fund costs and fees, saving them about $5,000 a year. So if you sound like this couple from Reston, Virginia, and you say, Abe, we've got a couple $1 million saved too. We're unsure of where we stand. We want to know how to transition into retirement successfully. We want to know what we're paying in fund costs, maybe advisor costs. We can help you figure that out. Go to theretirementkey.com. Click on the Contact Us tab at the top of the page, and we can begin to have these same conversations about your retirement as well.
We also have links posted in the show notes, so click there if that's more convenient. Or again, find us anytime at theretirementkey.com.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abish. To learn more about Abish Financial Services, visit theretirementkey.com. And join Abe for his radio show, The Retirement Key, Saturdays at 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 2 p.m. on WMAL.
Investment advisory services offered through Abish Financial Wealth Management, LLC, number 310633, a registered investment advisor firm. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Abraham Abish is licensed in your state, please call 571-577-9968. Abish Financial Services is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Abish Financial Services, Inc., Virginia Insurance License number 127820.